Welcome to my tour of the IIAD International Laboratory Training Program, Laboratory Management Short Course. This course was designed for training laboratory personnel with proper laboratory protocol. It is designed to take students 3 to 6 months to complete, with all activities being completed. With this course, I was able to work with Articulate Storyline. I worked side by side with another instructional designer. For this course, we were provided with large PDF files of the slides from a PowerPoint, along with exercises and activities that the students would have been asked to perform in a face-to-face class. There are 6 sections within this course. Sections 1 through 5 are learning modules, while Section 6 features course wrap-up questions. First, I'll walk you through the course overview guide. This is what the students will first view and must view to be able to complete the rest of it. It answers any questions as well as establishes the purpose of this course. Here it gives a detail into each of the sections that they will be going through. Next, it discusses where you can obtain a printed copy of the materials, which would be like the large student PDF booklet, as well as ways that they can best access all the items that they are asked to access within the course. And it makes sure that they're using the proper browser as well as have all the appropriate downloads and tools necessary to complete this course. Now, the rest of the things that I will be blowing through are kind of acknowledgments to people who have helped with this course, myself included, as well as contributors and sponsors and other people who have helped make this happen. So I'm going to go back to the main course. Now here you will see the rest of the modules. So first, each section is begun with a pretest. You can see here, you will not be able to complete the rest of the module until that pretest is completed. There are 3 attempts given to complete the pretest, and once you complete the pretest, you can open the module to be viewed. Now, the module pops up in a separate window, which allows for easy access to maneuver to and from the main course. Each module was created in Articulate Storyline. I exported the slides used in the PDF and created each slide by using PowerPoint in Articulate Storyline. I eliminated many of the animations and transitions, as these could be distracting and could take up much needed bandwidth. The course audience is located in areas where internet may be limited and bandwidth may not be up to par with what we are commonly used to working with. So I just went ahead and eliminated these to allow less of an issue for the audience. Now, one thing you may notice, which I paused, is that there are many voice overviews throughout the course. Let me show you one.
The International Laboratory Training Program, Module 1.5. Please click on the Next button below to advance forward and read the objective.
I did not do these, however, I was able to experiment with applying sound to the slides and how to move the timing of the sound. Next, I'll show you how I added in slides to incorporate the knowledge checks and actual quizzes. You'll go through each slide, and certain ones do have animations with certain images. However, after working through so many, you will come to a knowledge check. The knowledge check can look like this, or it can be true or false, fill in the blank. There's many different ways to create these in Articulate Storyline, but a majority of them are multiple choice. In the PowerPoint slides, these were simply listed as slides. In a classroom setting, these would have been taken by the student on a sheet of paper. Now, each knowledge check is completely accessible. Students must get each knowledge check correct in order to proceed. Let me show you. When it's incorrect, it will make you try again until you complete it. Then it provides you with selected feedback, and you're allowed to continue. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll through to the summary slides, since the rest is basic PowerPoint conversion with voice overviews. When you click on the summary slides, these used to just be bullet point with subjects such as risk assessment, hazard mitigation, standard laboratory practices. What I did was I went back throughout the rest of the PowerPoints and I elaborated on these. That way, it's a more detailed summary of exactly what the student should be taking away from this course. Now, at the end of each summary, you will notice that the practice exercise begins. These are the activities that each student is expected to complete at the end of the module. Some of these may only have a few activities, while others may have many. I'll walk you through one of them. This activity I created, again, within Articulate Storyline, and the way I created this was each blue box you see over here on the right is an individual. Here you see drag and drop the boxes below to where you think they should be located in the lab. These buttons are able to be dragged and dropped within the specific rooms. It won't stay until you select the appropriate room. The way I created this was I made each area hotspot, and I went in and edited the hotspots to where it would only accept the correct button. Now you have to link all the buttons to all of these, and I had to size them to appropriately fit in select boxes, as some of them were large. Now you can try to drop these in other rooms, but as you see, they will not stick unless it is the appropriate room. Now, some of these boxes I created for the hotspots were large, so if you kind of get the outskirts of where it's supposed to be, they'll snap into place, but overall the students are still completing the activity and experimenting with where these might go. Now, for this activity, the student is expected to click where they think you might start sample distribution in the lab. This, again, is created by a hotspot that they are expected to click. The hotspot is created to be a little bit larger than normal to allow if they click in the vicinity and kind of know where they're clicking at, it will pop up. Now, what happens is when they click, say, here, the correct flow pops up. This was overlaid as a separate PDF. There are other arrows, as you will see in the second one, where they expect them to do the same thing and other arrows pop up. These were the same images, just different colored arrows, and we were able to get them as individual images to where we could overlay them and create the hotspot to allow these to populate individually. Now that the activities have been completed by the student, they will be asked to take a post-test. What we did here were provide them with instructions on how to get back to that main page, just in case they were unaware. Now, once you're back, here's the post-test that they take, followed by evaluation feedback. The feedback will help address any issues that the students may run into to help better the course and allow for a smoother experience for the student. Now I'm going to walk you through the remainder of the activities that I helped complete. That way you can get a better feel for my experience with the various activities. Granted, this is my first time working with Articulate Storyline, but I got a very good feel for how to create different activities. Now here's another one I created where you drag and drop it into the appropriate order, and then you click submit and it gives you feedback. Now some of these exercises you will see are created as a reflection exercise. Here they have a text box where they can type a response and click submit. Now, many times when you click the submit button, it just feels like it goes into outer space. However, with many of them, we have worked into where it gives feedback. For example, one of them is an email question. Ask what's the appropriate way of wording this email. And when they submit their answer, it pops up and it allows them to open a separate PDF that gives a detailed description of how that email should have been properly worded. Now here, this one, I have numerous hotspots created in. What the student is expected to do is to click on the spaces where they think is applicable. Now, an X will not pop up unless you click in the appropriate box. So you see I'm clicking here and I'm clicking here, nothing. Nothing there. But the X's only pop up where it is appropriate. Now this is done by creating each box as a separate hotspot and linking each X as a separate item. So each X is individually linked to that specific box. Same thing is done for this one. An X will appear to where it is appropriate. This one is another drag or drop, and you can see here is the previous portion that was asked in the previous question. Now it is more detailed as to the Y response, where they can drag and drop where it is appropriate, followed by a review in the end of the module. Also, please note that the student can pause at any point to further read or take more time on a specific area. Now here's another example. This one is done as a select all that apply. There are many correct answers in here as well as many that are not correct. So it's just focusing on the student's ability to pay attention and be able to identify which ones are not part of it. Here's another drag or drop, followed by another drag or drop. Once I got a hang of these are quite easy to create, as each button is its individual image, and again creating individual hotspots to be able to fit all of these within. Now each module has their own activities, and as you can see, many times there are multiple, Module 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 3.3, 3.4. So this was a rather hefty course to create. It allowed me to get much experience with working in articulate storyline, and it allowed me to learn how to maneuver articulate storyline to meet the needs that I needed. Thanks for watching my tour, and again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at stho0108@gmail.com. Thank you for viewing.